Okay, welcome everyone. I would like to welcome you to the April 26th meeting, 2022. Could we please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you could please remain standing, we have Pastor Jim Brown from the Lake Church here this evening for our invocation. Welcome.
Thank you. Let's pray. Father God, we give you thanks that we live in a free country. We thank you also, Father, for the way that you have led these people on the council to be elected. They care about the city, they care about the people. And Lord, I pray that you give them wisdom as they make their decisions tonight and as they serve you, as well as all the staff throughout the month and the months ahead. Father, we live in challenging times. We need wise leadership. We need wise people to make good decisions. And so I just really pray, Lord, that you'll help us, all of us, to make good decisions, especially at the council tonight. Thank you, Lord, for your presence with us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, you can be seated, and we have a roll call next.
Councilmember Musgrove? Here. Councilmember Nunez?
Present.
Councilmember Walton? Here. Deputy Mayor Jenkins?
Here.
And Mayor Jones?
Here. Okay, if the council could please go to the front. We have a couple of presentations this evening. So this is one of the best parts of our job because we like to talk about all the great things that our San Marcos businesses are doing, and then also our kids in the community. So Camille Hastings, come on down if you don't mind. So Camille actually owns Leading Note Studios. So the San Marcos City Council hereby recognizes Leading Note Studios. Leading Note Studios first opened in 2009 and opened in San Marcos in 2020. And whereas Leading Note Studios competed with more than 300 schools nationwide to win the Clash of the Titans nomination through the Music Academy Success Systems, and was awarded the National Music School of the Year 2021 award on March 22nd, 2022. And whereas Leading Note Studios, I keep saying that, it's a lot, provides music to the community by offering lessons for all musical instruments, as well as a professional recording studio and music learning opportunities for children and adults in San Marcos. Whereas Camille Hastings, the owner of Leading Note Studios, is passionate about making music a gift that everyone should receive, and has created a culture of excitement, joy, and dedication to music education. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of San Marcos, California, do hereby congratulate Leading Note Studios on its outstanding achievement and thank Camille for her continued contribution and representing the San Marcos community. So Camille, yes. Congratulations. I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
And would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you everyone so much. It was an honor being awarded the National Music School of the Year. And it's been very exciting opening up my second location in San Marcos and being part of the community. We're now serving close to 900 students, and at the San Marcos location, we're at about 375. Adults to 2-year-olds, and just on Sunday, we had our adult-only recital. So any of you adults out there ever wish to take up your music, don't be don't be discouraged by a 5-year-old because you get your own private recital. So I thank you so much. I'm excited to be part of San Marcos and continue. I know Boys and Girls Club is here. I do a lot with them, a lot of their events and stuff. So just growing and getting to know you guys better also. And I didn't get to do much my first year of 2020, but I'm rocking and rolling in 2021 and 2022. So thank you so much. Thank you. Can I get a picture real quick?
Yeah, we're gonna
Marissa,
take a picture, and then if you could just,
That's my daughter.
Sorry. Hi, I'm the photo op. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, move this one this way. 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you.
Awesome,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Absolutely. Yeah, we do cello lessons. so
I have no musical talent, I'm sad to say.
That's what a lot of people say, but it's not true.
Okay, well, my kids, when I sing, they're like, stop, Mom, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. All right, now we have Ernie Montano with the Boys and Girls Club. And Ernie is so awesome. First of all, he's just a good all-around student, but you've done some pretty amazing things, and I'm going to read all this for you. Okay. So anyway, the San Marcos City Council hereby recognizes Ernie Montano. Whereas the Boys and Girls Club are the forefront of efforts in literacy programs, homework help, tutorial assistance, substance abuse prevention, and youth recreational programming throughout the 12 clubs, a teen center, and 4 school satellite sites in Greater San Diego. And whereas Ernie Montano was selected to represent all of San Diego County. So not just San Marcos, but all San Diego County in the California Youth of the Year competition on April 12th after being a member of the Boys and Girls Club for more than a decade. And whereas Ernie has spent more than 400 volunteer hours serving his community, is part of the Leaders in Training program, and is the first club member in San Marcos to be offered a paid summer internship as a junior staffer, and whereas Ernie has worked with kinder and first grade youth to provide summer programming, providing meals and creative care packages for those experiencing homelessness, and has participated in fundraising efforts for those affected by natural disasters. I don't know how you find time to actually go to school. Anyway, now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of San Marcos, do hereby commend and recognize you for your outstanding achievement, and thank you for representing San Marcos.
Yeah,
Thank you. So I'm going to give you that. Would you like to say a few words?
of course.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say thank you to my friends, family, mentors, and especially the Boys and Girls Club for allowing me to go out to the community and, find my passion in helping out others who are less fortunate and who have, less. So thank you, Boys and Girls Club. Thank you to all the council members. And yeah, thank you.
And then we also have Kathy Bauer from the Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if you wanted to say a few words about Ernie? You don't have to, but you can. Come on, go plug for the club.
Absolutely. This is one of those kind of proud mama moments, Ernie's one of those wonderful kids that we've had an opportunity to have at the club for so many years. These children become like family. Our staff help them grow, develop, and with the support of the community, with the support of City Council, we're able to impact so many lives. And Ernie is just a shining example of what the Boys and Girls Club can do in San Marcos. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you soon. Sure. Okay, again, best part of our job, recognizing our community members. Okay, moving on to the consent calendar. Do we have any items which any council members wish to pull? If not, do we have a motion then?
Move to approve.
Okay,
Second?
we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Okay, passes unanimously. We'll be moving on to oral communications. We have one speaker. Okay, it's Maureen Walder, traffic from 2 projects on Barham. Okay, come on down, Marlene.
now.
Uh-oh.
On Meyer, there's a new project going in, as you know, you approved. And on Barham, there's the Planning Commission just approved it, and we're not against it. What we're against is the amount of traffic on Barham. Coming over here, I took Lamore, and there's a sign that says no right turn between 3 and 6, and all those cars just kept turning right. Well, the one coming on Barham, they've already discussed that they're going to have trouble coming out. It's a better option than having high density, low income, really. But in the same respects, if nothing gets done to Barham prior to both of these projects being completed, the one on Meyer has been delayed because of COVID. But they keep raising the dirt level higher and higher on the people next door to them, which has really impacted their view, which wasn't much of a view, but at least they didn't see houses. I just want something to be done about Barham sooner than later. As I've said to the city council before, I've lived there 35 years. When I first moved in, Traffic Commission said that street was going to be revamped. It's been revamped. They've taken away our left turn safety lane because they made it 2 lanes in one direction. And when you pull out, you can't see the cars coming. And it's become a hazard for us getting out. We've been using the back gate. And it still took me 10 minutes to get here at 10 to 6, to be here on time. And at the earlier meeting, it took me 15 because the backup at Barham going on to Woodland Parkway is so bad. And so I want the city council, is what I'd like, is for them to try and get Caltrans to go ahead and make that new on-off ramp further up between the 2 Lamores. And that's where it was told that it was going to go. Originally, when I moved 35 years ago here, they said they were going to close off Barham to only residential traffic. And that would be an ideal thing, because with those 2 new projects, it's going to be a nightmare. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I turned that off. Moving on to item number 14, ordinances. Resolution 2022-9009 and ordinance 2022-1516, a resolution of intention to amend the California Public Employees Retirement System contract for all employee groups and ordinance implementing said contract amendment. So, who is doing the report? Mr. Griffin.
Madam Mayor, very brief report. We're required under state law to do this every year for elements of our previously negotiated contracts with our employee groups. This relates to our employees picking up additional shares of the pension costs. So this is becoming a fairly routine item. We'll have to do it any time that we have a contract situation with any of our bargaining units where there's additional employee share of those costs. We'll have to do this on an annual basis. But the nuts of this is that it reduces the city's potential pension costs by having the employees share at a higher level than they have in the past.
Yes, which they agreed to, and then so we're just codifying what was already agreed to.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay. All right. Any questions of staff? No. This is an ordinance. Do we have a motion to approve? I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay. Motion passes. So that's approve and to introduce. Just for clarification, Madam Counselor. Moving on to item number 15, public hearings, Resolution 2022-9010, Community Development Block Grant Program Year 2022-2023, Annual Action Plan Approval. And Candy, you are on.
Thank you. My microphone turned on. That's awesome. All right. Well, good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for having me here again. This is our final public hearing for the CDBG program year 22-23 annual action plan. I have a very short presentation to you to conclude what the annual action plan contains. And the Community Development Block Grant CDBG program is funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. We are still scheduled to receive $841,819 in this program year. That's a 5.8% increase from the prior year. That's determined from the CPI, Consumer Price Index. We have $705,348 in rollover funds that will be bringing over into this current program year, bringing the total available funds to a little over $1.5 million. Now, HUD has specific percentages mandated for the categories that we use the funding for, and the public services is limited to 15% of the yearly allocation. And that is used for nonprofit coordination and basic needs assistance. We are mandated to use 20% of the total yearly allocation to program administration. And this covers things such as planning, reporting, program oversight, and compliance. And the remaining funds from the 2 preset allocations for program admin and public services go to public infrastructure improvements. Those cover ADA improvements, public infrastructure, community facilities, parks, and program accessibility improvements. And with that actually concludes the final public hearing for the CDBG program, and I can take any questions you may have.
Yes, does the council have any questions?
I have one. Go ahead.
Yes.
Just real briefly, Candy, a significant amount of rollover funds from last year?
Now, the rollover funds seem significant. However, we aren't fully billed through Q4. So although the majority of those rollover funds, about $640,000 of that are for public infrastructure, and we're not completed the billing cycle, and we won't until we get through the final quarter. So we expect to expend a good amount of those funds, although the dollar amount's not fully predicted yet. And the remainder we will work, tirelessly to make sure that we expend all the funds in the following program year.
So it gets budgeted back to the 22-23, however, they're already appropriated for 21-22. Is that correct?
Just in the event that we're unable to either pay the bills and we have to or the work trickles over into the following fiscal year. Sometimes there's delays in construction, so we always want to make sure that we're we can take care of it on the front end or the back end.
Capital projects tend not to follow necessarily the fiscal calendars all the time, and so there's often that bleed over from one fiscal year to another.
Thank you.
Well, because I imagine planning takes a while and to actually implement it takes a while, so.
And getting materials in these days really takes a while, so.
For sure. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
That was my
Oh,
question.
No,
okay.
I had the same question as well. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I actually did just want to go over a couple of things. Under the nonprofit coordination, we have 211, which I was talking about with someone earlier. And they have all of the pertinent information if folks need help with food insecurity and rental assistance and all of that, all of the county mental health and all of that affordable housing. Folks can call that from San Marcos, and then they'll get help all throughout the county, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do we have any idea, you might not know this off the top of your head, but how many service providers they actually represent? I'm imagining it would be significant, but.
How many service providers?
Yeah, service providers as far as, all the things that they coordinate. I don't know. I would guess it would be in the probably at least 100.
Hundreds, yeah.
Okay.
They certainly coordinate with many different resources, even those who maybe not directly, correlate. They want to make sure that they give all the resources out. So They have resource sheets from all different entities. So they'll give them out to wherever it's best appropriate.
And I saw that's going up a little bit. Is that based on our population? I think it's about 5,000 more than our last year. Is that,
It's based on the service level or the amount of calls. We just, for the last quarter, we received in, it's about $16.84 a call. So we had about over 1,100 calls last quarter.
Wow.
And the quarter before, a little shy of 1,000. So it's quite a high volume, but we are working closely with 211 to make sure, that, the services are specific to San Marcos and that we're feeding them the right information and the proper resources are getting sent out.
well, and I'm glad to see too that we have Solutions for Change, Casa de Amparo, and then Legal Aid Society. Is that, what do we use that for? I'm just curious.
Yes, ma'am. So we use Legal Aid Society for free fair housing services for the citizens here in San Marcos. So essentially, we get calls multiple times a day where people need help, just legal advice, legal questions. And although most, all of our staff are, experts in our field, we can't give legal advice because we are not attorneys. So what we can do is point them in the right direction, tell them the general parameters of the law, and then ask them to get that assistance. And Legal Aid does it for free because we do pay them for it. They also, one of their biggest things they do for us is conduct fair housing testing. And that's done on a quarterly basis where they go out to different complexes to make sure that there aren't any fair housing violations being had. And the second part to that is they do fair housing training not only to the citizens but also to our housing providers. So we kind of get a whole plethora of services from Legal Aid Society there.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for the clarification on that. Any other questions? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I have one question. How do we let our residents know about the capability of 211?
So we have a resource sheet that has that information on it. But also, of course, we give that information out if anybody calls. It's kind of all over a lot of different type of brochures that we have in resource documents. But mainly, really, we try to distribute as much as that literature as we can, not only through community outreach, and now with kind of COVID the way that it's going, we're able to kind of get back out there more. But prior to dropping off flyers and making sure people had those resource sheets, that's going to be done. We have housing fairs planned and such. So it'll be easier to kind of get that word back out. But right now it's done mostly through the communications and the paperwork that we have and distribute.
Okay, thank you.
Just kind of following up on that, can we make sure we have something on our homepage that can help navigate you to that? That'd be actually great if you just had a button of 211 needs some help, and then just kind of just check on that. People can find all the things that they need to do. Maybe a page that kind of talks about all the different things that they cover.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, this is a public hearing. I move to close a public hearing. Do I have a second? Second. All right. Oh, sorry.
Before we
My
vote-
apologies.
No. I have two follow-up questions.
Sure.
One with respect to legal aid. Under these funds or possibly the funds that that legal aid has received through our nonprofit grant programs, are they doing or are they required to do one-on-one consultations for our residents?
Yes, ma'am, they are. And they are required to even try the case if necessary. If there's, they're to direct them to the Department of Fair Housing if necessary. They help prepare notices, they help prepare responses, and they will even help contest an eviction or an unlawful action and take it all the way up to the judge and meet them in court.
And so are these, and you may not know this, but are these, whether or not they step in to represent one of our residents, is that based on their criteria that they might be subject to, or based on specific residents that are specific to residents to the city of San Marcos, based on these contractual obligations?
So legal aid is used by everybody in North County and actually in San Diego as well. So really they help just about everybody. So it's not only specific to San Marcos for the reason that we pay for the service, but also because it's kind of a county-wide effort that we use them. But they are utilized for our county. They were selected to be utilized by our county because it was kind of brought in through the AI, the analysis of impediments. So the way that they work together with the other cities and municipalities, they kind of make sure that the cases that they select are really legitimate, that they have, they are actually rules being violated, that they are truly fair housing, and they're assisting the people that are really having a legitimate issue.
I think the city's not engaged in that process. We help fund the effort, the residents take advantage of it, but at that point, it's between the resident and legal aid to determine what the proper avenue for that particular instance is. We don't have criteria or standards as to how those things get judged and processed. We're just the funding mechanism to give this service so that people who probably don't have that option have an option.
Someone to talk to give them legal advice because we can't give it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, any other questions?
I do have one more question. Regarding 211, I think at some point, it might have been before COVID, we had talked about possibly having 211 come to give us an update, some sort of presentation to the council. Is that something that we can work so they can come and
Yeah,
give
we
us
can
an
talk to them
update?
and see if we can do that, sure.
Okay, thank you.
And Councilmember, just wanted to let you know, I just spoke to Candy before the meeting started. We have distributed an updated affordable housing sheet to them that explains, so they're well aware of what's going on with our affordable housing, how to get on the list and all of that, and they can distribute that list for us, which is really important in our city for sure. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we had a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? No? No noes. Okay. And then also motion to adopt.
Move to adopt.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to oral communications. I don't think I have any more oral communications. Okay, reports. Sandag. I'm first up, and I left my notes at home, but I think I can go through my other notes that don't have my handwritten notes on it. So we had the Chief Executive Officer's report. There was a lot of discussion about the credit cards. I'm sure some people have heard about that in the county. And that was taxpayer dollars that have been used for meals. That has kind of blown up some of the discussion. The outside independent auditor said that some of the charges do not have any documentation with them, and so we were asking for more documentation. There was a news article in the iNews source, I believe, where it talked about non-board members eating steak dinners with our director and things like that. So it's, in my opinion, an abuse of our taxpayer funds. And what I suggested is that we all bring forward our expenditures as far as our policies here in the city, because we do have policies at Sandag, though they're very vague, and many of them were not actually being followed exactly. So we have two policies, or actually three policies here at the city. We have the use of taxpayer funds when we're having employee enrichment and that sort of thing. But then we also have a policy whenever someone travels and then we get reimbursed on credit cards and that sort of thing. So I suggested that we incorporate those two things. So what I did ask for at the last meeting was also the credit cards that were reimbursed, people's personal credit cards, for that to also be accounted for, so that we could have full transparency for San Diego County residents, that we are using their taxpayer dollars wisely. So that, I believe, is moving forward. I think to the audit committee, and I think the auditor, outside independent auditor, said she was going to bring it to your next meeting or some discussion of that sort, which I will be attending. whether it's virtual or in person, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, I will be there on that.
That's correct, Mayor. She's going to do that. And then whatever information she can get together, bring that back to the full board for consideration.
Okay, and they are putting together a policy. Then there was, excuse me, Otay Mesa East Port of Entry project. Excuse me, I have to take a sip here. Financial strategy and delivery method update. So we just talked about the Otay Mesa, which is a really important port of entry because we have lots of goods that are coming across the border. Then there was a revised 22 apportionment and Transnet for transit-related revenues, which was also approved. And then also one other, continuation of the teleconference hybrid meetings. We were all in person this last time. And then approval of meeting minutes, nothing there. And then also Transnet extension ordinance, which we actually had something that we had to roll over funds for, which was approved, Jack. Just to let you know, we were looking for a 3-year extension of the MOU because we have a delay in our project. As we were talking about, everything is delayed right now. And then approval of the solicitations and contract awards. Not too much else. Transit Capital Improvement Program, that was also approved. That was FTA, Federal Transit Administration grant applications. Oh, and Bike Month 2022 is happening. That's this next month, May. And I think we're having an event. Do we have a stop here in San Marcos?
We do,
We do?
right here.
Okay, so Sandag said to me, are you willing to be one of the mayors that actually rides your bike? And I said, I could do that, totally. So they go, well, you have to wear a helmet. And I said, well, of course. The last time I did it, I always wear a helmet anyway because I like to be a good example. But that's coming up. What is that date? I need to get that in my calendar. They said they were setting it up with you guys, and I don't remember what the date was. So
I'm
you
going to
don't
say
have
the
to...
wrong thing, but I think it's the 14th of May, but I'm not positive about that.
Right before my birthday. Oh, happy birthday to me. Okay, anyway, that's coming up. We should probably have that on our website as well. And then, yeah, we talked again about the fraud, waste, and abuse report, things that are kind of working in the background at Sandag. And let's see, criminal justice. Oh, this was actually very interesting. So our annual crime statistics were out, and I am very happy to announce that our overall crime rate went down another, and I don't see it on here, but I read that it was another 5% from 2020 to 2020, I'm sorry, 2021. No, 2020 to 2021, yes. That's correct. Because we're in 2022, yes. Anyway, so it went down another 5%. Yay for San Marcos, and thank you to our San Diego County Sheriff's deputies. They do a great job. But anyway, we are the second safest city in the entire county, which is, we're still staying there. You know, Poway is the only city that is safer than us. And they don't have 40,000 students coming in every day at their higher learning institutions because they have none. And then they also don't have a freeway that bisects them. So I think we're doing pretty well. Very excited to talk about that. And I think that was it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and I'm sorry, what?
Bike to Work is Thursday the 19th.
Bike to Work is Thursday the 19th. It's after my birthday. Okay, well, anyway, I will be here and I will be riding my bike. So hopefully it doesn't rain like it did the last time, because when it rained, it was literally blinding me. Yes, but I was intent on doing it. So yeah, it really rained on me that day. So anyway, that's all we have on Sandag. And then League of California Cities report. Councilmember Nunez.
Thank you, Mayor. No report at this meeting. We have committee meetings scheduled the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, and then our regular division meeting next month in May.
North County Transit District, Deputy Mayor Jenkins.
Yes, we had a meeting on April 21. Just a couple highlights from it. Everybody's probably heard there's Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act money coming our way. There's $87 billion overall for rail, $107 billion for transit programs, and $44 billion for multimodal programs. And so this is a 48% increase in public transit funding over the next 5 years. And North County Transit is positioning some projects to be ready to try to use some of those funds. One thing that's been mentioned a couple times is cities can collaborate with North County Transit on applications if there's projects we have going on that could benefit from the funding. So, Jack, I'm sure you're following that. The other thing is we have a new program, a pilot program, and that is Youth Opportunity Program, which will provide free transit for youth under 18. It starts May 1st. It's funded along with Sandag in the county of San Diego, and it'll run through June 30th of 23. After that, the funding doesn't go beyond that, but it's a pilot, so they'll see if it's been advantageous or not to get more people involved in transit. So
I'm going to add something to that. I as soon as I got that, they had like a little graphic of it. I sent it to the school district, the Boys and Girls Club. They're not here anymore. And then I also sent it because sometimes we have students that are under 18 that are going to the colleges, for extra classes. So I sent that also to CSU and Palomar as well. So just to let you know, I did actually send that information on, and everyone thanked me. And the district was very excited because, they have some kids that have a tough time getting to school. So anyway, I
and
wanted to
they're
let you know
doing
that.
outreach. The transit district's also doing outreach.
They
and
are.
trying to get more people aware of it and see if it helps. We'll see. It is a pilot. And that's it.
Okay. North County Dispatch, Joint Powers Authority.
No report. We meet in May.
Nay. Okay. Clean Energy Alliance report. Councilmember Musgrove, I believe you were not present at that meeting. Councilmember Walton.
Correct, Mayor. Yes, I pinch hit for Council Member Musgrove, and we met on the 21st. It was a good meeting. We were brought up to date on the process by which San Marcos and Escondido will become part of Clean Energy Alliance. There are some approvals that need to be made by the California Public Utilities Commission, so CEA received those approvals, so we are on track to have our power in San Marcos provided not by SDG&E starting in April of next year, but by Clean Energy Alliance. I inquired as to how our residents will be made aware of this, and starting in February, there'll be 4 direct mailers going out to everybody in the city, and they'll be advised of what's happening, how they can opt out, should they wish to stay with SDG&E. And we were also notified that the Community Advisory Committee that had its first meeting with the San Marcos reps and Escondido reps, and apparently it's a powerhouse bunch that is very supportive of the goals of Clean Energy Alliance. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
And just for clarification for the folks out in the out in the public, you will still get your bill from SDG&E, but it will be a different provider. So the transmission still goes through SDG&E. It's just the actual electricity that will be from the Clean Energy Alliance, and the gas will still come through SDG&E. And it'll still come on one bill. It'll just be one line where you notice it's a little bit different. Everything else will look exactly the same, but you do have an opt-out option.
Right. You'll be given the chance to not have your power provided by Clean Energy Alliance, but you can stay with SDG&E.
Right. Okay. City Council business visits. Oh, there it is. Oh, you can't see the cool wheels on it. That was today at Hollandia Dairy. Okay. They told us to wear closed-toe shoes. I have to say I was pretty excited that I wore tennis shoes because it wasn't quite, it honestly was a little, there was a lot of water going around at all times because they, obviously they have to do a lot of cleaning constantly. So the floor was all wet. But it was super clean, which you'll all like to know. But anyway, it was a fun visit. Do you want to start us off?
I can start. So, Hollandia Dairy started in about 1950 when the two came over with 10 children, I believe. Do
Yep,
we have
10 children.
that photo of them getting off the plane?
I don't know. Oh, there were,
There they
by the
are.
way, there were the coolest photos.
Yeah.
They just
Can we go
really-
back to the couple? There.
Yep.
So they came over in about 1950, which if you think about it, 70 years ago. This is probably one of the oldest companies in San Marcos. In fact, San Marcos wasn't a city until 1963, I think.
Yep.
So they came over and started the dairy, and at the time, it grew eventually to about 117 acres. It's now, because as you know, some was sold to the school district, the church, and the city, so it's now about 17 acres. But we met with the CEO, Patrick, and the chief business analyst, Luke. They have about 210 employees, and they run 2 shifts, sometimes a little over, 6 days a week. And so we were able, it's huge back there. You have no
Huge.
idea how big it is.
It's way bigger than it looks.
Yeah, and we got to go through several of the facilities there, where the milk, they bring the milk in tanker trucks, not sure what they're called, and then they process the milk there, and that's how they used to do it. And then it's very automated, and then they ship out their milk out of San Marcos. They supply most of the school districts in the county and the jails. They go up into Orange County. So it was a great visit. So, and as everybody knows, the cows have been gone since about 2002 or 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was great to go there, and they were just very gracious and shared a lot of information. It was a good visit.
So I don't know, I can't remember if you said this part, but it was originally 117 acres.
Yeah.
It was huge, and then they sold off the property for the school, the church, and the park, of course, is right over there too. Anyway, it was huge, and the old pictures, I don't know if we have that. I might actually have forgotten to send those over to Tess. Anyway, really cool pictures that show how small the road was at Mission and all of that. But anyway, they're currently remodeling their processing plant to modernize it. They sell, or they have smaller box trucks that leave around 3 o'clock in the morning to start delivering to the schools every day, which you never see them. I hardly ever see their trucks. They have 45,000 square feet of cold storage. So it's literally cold everywhere. And I think it was 8 bays on that last place that we went to, where they are, getting all the delivery trucks all fueled up and loaded up. It was quite impressive. I have to say, I had no idea. It was so much bigger than I actually thought. I mean, back in the day, they used to have, I think there was a picture of it, like ice cream and, all that. Yeah, they had that, but they also used to actually have the little store right there. I remember when I first moved when I first moved back to San Marcos, my kids were, my daughter was a baby and my son was like 2.5 or 3. We actually used to go there all the time, and he used to get ice cream and all that. It's kind of sad to see it go, but anyway, I guess it's progress. But a huge facility. I don't know what the total square footage was. I was looking for that. I don't see it. Anyway, they have about 6,000 cows between the dairies. I think it's Hemet, and then also San Jacinto, I think it was. Anyway, they even distribute as far away as Hawaii. And a third of their trucks are running on compressed natural gas, so they are trying to do their part energy-wise, and new TrueStar energy system to support it. So anyway, it was great to go there, and you know they're part of San Marcos's history. So really, very cool business visit, and like just to see that. I think that's the same one that was in the original picture with us in it.
No, that's a different one.
Is it? Okay, all right, I don't know. Anyway, it was very interesting. And the pictures, we have to connect them to the school district because, the Historical Society, because all of the pictures that they have hanging on the wall, there's gotta be like 20 of them or so, and they're really cool historical pictures. Anyway, okay, that's it. Yeah, it looks kind of the same, I don't know. Anyway, it was very old, that one, it was very old. The seat was all worn out and everything. Anyway, it was a fun visit.
It was.
Anyway, you should all go check it out sometime. It's very interesting. Okay, any other business visits? I don't think so. No. Okay, San Marcos Creek Project update. Jack.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So we're still on schedule to have the Bent Avenue Bridge open to traffic in May. More news soon on the day in May. We don't have that nailed down quite yet, but we're close, which obviously leads to a bunch of work happening on Bent. The false work is all being removed underneath. That's that structure you see when bridges are being built before they're completed. The installation of the railing, architecture, streetlights, all the stuff that's on the top of the bridge is all going on, and creating alongside of Bent where for the trail and the small park area should start this week. So that comes up to level there. So that's a lot of activity there as we get Bent finished. SDG&E's relocating a gas line in Discovery near Via Veracruz. So if you've been down through there in the past couple of weeks, there's a lot of traffic control, a lot of one lane. There's a lot of work happening on Discovery as we prepare to make that move in the Via Veracruz direction. And then lastly, we're building some basins, bioretention basins near Via Veracruz that handles all the stormwater runoff from Discovery, treats it before it eventually gets released back into the creek. So that work's happening now as well. So
A lot going
making
on
good
over
progress.
there. Oh, and as you're coming around behind Ralph's, the road extension, boy, does it look different over there. It looks really different right now.
It's amazing how that, with that rock gone, how that opens up that area. So
Well, and just how low they have it down, because they're gonna still continue to move dirt around. I was looking down going, whoa, that's actually pretty far down. It looks completely different over there. Okay, any council commentary? I just have one thing, Cinco de Mayo, 9 a.m., Gratitude Trail ribbon cutting will happen in memory of Aris Kershishian. So that's actually going to be happening again on Cinco de Mayo at 9 a.m. Gratitude Trail, which is the trail around Discovery Lake. Anything else? Okay, all right. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.